In keeping with our university motto, enter to learn, depart to serve, Winston-Salem State University wants to make sure that you gain the necessary skills and competencies to transform yourself and your world. So how do we tell if we're successful in preparing you for life after graduation? We engage in assessment. What is assessment? We're glad you asked. Assessment is the systematic process of establishing outcomes, explaining how those outcomes will be measured, collecting data, and analyzing or reviewing those data to make changes and improvements. Sound complicated? It's not. We'll explain more in a minute. But first, we need your help. We rely on everyone at WSSU to assist with our assessment efforts. For example, we expect our students to do their best on assignments and honestly complete surveys and course evaluations. Why? So we know what you're learning, what we're doing well, and how we could improve your educational experience. We expect our faculty and staff members to engage in the assessment process too. They do this by reporting assessment information, responding to requests and surveys, and participating in activities on campus. We make a lot of our data, such as survey results, available on our website. Why? So external stakeholders like alumni, accreditors, and board members can follow our progress. Now, let's talk about how to do assessment. We start by establishing outcomes, or how we would like for something to turn out. Lots of our outcomes focus on student learning. At the university level, there are learning outcomes that center on liberal education. But each major has content outcomes too. For example, imagine you're a nursing major. One of the things a nursing major should be able to do is provide outstanding patient care. Students will provide outstanding patient care would be the outcome. We recognize, however, that your WSSU experiences don't occur solely in the classroom, and that's part of the reason why assessment happens all across campus. Support areas like information technology, student affairs, the university college and lifelong learning, enrollment management, and the library also have outcomes to make sure they're serving their customers and accomplishing goals. For example, an outcome for the library may be to ensure students have access to the resources they need to complete classwork. Now that we have our outcomes, we have to measure them. We call these measures assessment methods, which are simply the things we use to determine if we met our outcome or not. Assessment methods can be any number of things like rubrics, a capstone project, surveys, test questions, tracking logs, and focus groups, just to name a few. When you put outcomes and assessment measures together, you have an assessment plan. Once we have our assessment plan in place, we spend time collecting information. We often call this information data or results. The data can be a lot of things like a response to a test item or the answer to a survey question. Rubrics are another common way to collect data. Have you ever seen a rubric? This is an example of the critical thinking rubric. Rubrics show important criteria and explain different score levels. Your instructors may use rubrics to evaluate your performance on an assignment and then report the scores as data. But don't worry. To help protect your confidentiality, data are combined when reported for assessment purposes. Once the data is collected, we review it, so we know what the data story is. The data may show us that we're reaching our targets for success, or the data may show us that we missed our targets and need to adjust. Now that we know how we're doing, assessment is finished, right? Well, no. Assessment is never finished. The next step is to show how results have been used to make changes and improvements. We call these steps actions and follow-ups. Once we use our data to take action, we say we've closed the loop. When we close the loop, we start the assessment cycle over again. It takes the work and cooperation of the entire RAM family to show we're an effective university. We use assessment to show that we're consistently making efforts to improve student learning and our processes, which helps us maintain accreditation from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges and other accrediting agencies. So the next time you're working on an assignment for class, remember, it doesn't just impact your grade. It helps your instructors determine if they're teaching you what you need to know. And the next time you're thinking of deleting your survey invitation or skipping your course evaluations to take a nap, think again. It only takes a few minutes for you to make a difference. We need your opinions so we can determine how we're doing and how we can improve. Our ultimate goal is to make changes that lead to improvements in student learning and university operations. It's important to us that when our students enter to learn, we prepare them well so they can depart to serve. That's why assessment occurs in all areas across campus, and that's why we need everyone's help to make sure we're an effective institution full of RAM pride, all day, every day.